Welcome to the Zero Racing Season 3 race at Norisring. This is round 2 of the championship. This is the weekday race, aka the Wednesday race. And we're going to roll through the grid here. On pole is the championship leader in the number 2 Mercedes, Jason Monds. Joining him on the front row is the number 48 Audi of Alessio DeBonis. Row 2 is the number 17 of Carl Raggio for Audi and the number 3 Mercedes of Martin Lauer. Mike Mark in the number 13 BMW and Wesley Stokes in number 31 BMW are your top BMWs in the field on row 3. Row 4, all Mercedes, the number 34 of Quintis Gillespie and the number 84 of Rick Martel. Row 5, the number 18 BMW, Dule Markovic, and the Audi of number 99, Michael Magasevich. And on the back row, it's all Red Bull, the number 5 Audi of Thomas Waz, again, the only 2015 spec car in the field, and the number 11 Red Bull BMW of Mark Clapzool. Let's get ready to kick this off. And they're away, and it looks like a pretty good start for Jason Monds, but Alessio DeBonis, I think, has the better start of the two front row cars. They're heading into corner 1. Alessio's on the inside. It's looking good for him. And out of nowhere comes the number 99 Audi of Michael Magasevich. He must have missed a braking zone. Let's have a look at that, because there is no way that was anywhere remotely close to making the line. He spins out his teammate Alessio DeBonis in the process, but let's have a look at what it looks like from his onboard. If we can find him. There he is. He started near the back of the grid, of course, starting P10, I do believe. So even to come up into the front is a little bit weird. And here we go. Looks like he doesn't even really hit the brakes. He gets on the brakes, but much too late. Comes into the back of Alessio DeBonis, and that's the problem right there. Let's see if we can sort it out here. Martin Lauer seems to be really slow. Anyway, Jason Monds has retained the lead of the race, and well, he's got a pretty good lead over the BMW of Wes Stokes, who's made up some good spots from P6 to P2, thanks to that accident. Third place, Mark Clapzool from the back of the grid. The P12 qualifier is in third place. But he spins around getting hit by Carl Raggio, and P3 is now going to go to Magasevich, but you got to imagine that the number 99 Audi is sitting on a penalty of some kind after that first round trauma. He's got Quintis Gillespie on his tail, along with Alessio DeBonis, Tom Waz, and looks like the BMW Dule Markovic in the hunt there. This looks like it could be a good battle here for third place. DeBonis is slotted in the Audi. So Audi running through third and fourth. Top 2 are Mercedes and BMW, so we do have all 3 makes in the top 3. That's good for them. BMW has been struggling this season so far and hasn't really been making it happen. A little bit of action in the back there. Mark Clapzool appears to be at the back of the pack again after his spin at the hands of Carl Raggio. Anyways, Magasevich still holding the line here, still in third place, but he's got to be facing a pretty big penalty, so really he probably factors in somewhere near the back. DeBonis and Gillespie are still rounding off the top 5, and then it looks like it's Dule Markovic in 6th place, 7th for Waz. Rick Martel and Martin Lowry are battling over 8th place in the 2 Mercedeses. Not a good race so far for Lauer, who started, if you recall, on row 2 and is quite a ways back now. Magasevich still leading the battle here for third place. He's got what would you think would be much faster cars at DeBonis and Gillespie right on his tail. He defends against DeBonis there, but appears to be leaving him enough room to maybe take the position. Maybe a little too far back. No, he'll hold it into turn 4, and Gillespie will take over 4th place, actually getting past DeBonis. 6th place is now Rick Martel, who's had a fantastic lap. He was back down in 9th place at the start of this lap and is now up to 6th. 7th is Martin Lauer. 8th is Tom Waz, and then Mike Mark. Carl Raggio is the last man in the points, and outside the points, it's Mark Clapzool and Dule Markovic, who must have had a problem. He was much higher up there. Jason Monds still on his own, followed by Wesley Stokes. We're still having a great three-way battle for third place. Magasevich is a little wide into the beginning of the chicane, but he'll tighten up the line in part 2 and does appear to hold the position for now. Looks like Gillespie is setting up for an inside run, but so is DeBonis. Here we go, and there's contact between the two Audis. They spin out, and I think Gillespie's just going to say thank you very much as he leads a three-way Audi or a three-way Mercedes train into third, fourth, and fifth place. Magasevich is going again in what looks like, I imagine, sixth place with Mike Mark in seventh. DeBonis has had a huge problem, and this is going to be big in the anti-Audi camp. Mercedes, it has to be said, really in a dominant position right now. Jason Monds is out in front and quite a bit ahead of BMW of Wes Stokes, who is the only non-Mercedes in the top 5 as Quintis, Gillespie, Rick Martel, and Martin Lauer inherit third, fourth, and fifth for the Mercedes crew. Sixth place is still Magasevich. He's battling with the BMW of Mike Mark, but it doesn't look like that's going to last very long. Just on a side note, it looks like the BMWs are running a lot higher wing than the Audis or the Mercedes here, as Carl Raggio has a bit of a moment there and hits the wall. Magasevich goes for a move on the inside of Mark, but he's not got the brakes. Through into sixth place goes Mark. Down to seventh goes Magasevich, who is still probably facing that big penalty for that lap 1 incident. Dule Markovic is in eighth, with Carl Raggio trailing him in ninth. Thomas Waz is also in the points in 10th place. DeBonis is 11th. And at the very back, Mark Klapzul doesn't seem to be really able to capitalize on what was a really good start for him. He was up into, I believe, P3 or P4 in lap 1. Almost down a lap now. This is a very short lap, it should be mentioned. A sub 50-second lap, so we should see some lapping action here. Monds is he's easing away from Wesley Stokes by the looks of it. I think that gap is increasing, but it's not quite not insurmountable. We should have about 13 laps left in this race. I expect to see Stokes maybe have a run at it, but you got to remember Stokes did qualify back down in P6, so this is him racing probably above his pay grade a little bit right now. Quintis Gillespie is hanging on to third place, doing a good job there. It does look like Martin Lauer in the gray and yellow Mercedes has made a move on his teammate Rick Martel for P4. So Lauer is up in the world right now. Mercedes still having a really good race. Mike Mark is reeling them in a little bit in the sixth place BMW, having a little bit of a moment out of the chicane there, but he holds it. Magasevich is still holding on to seventh place, with Raggio coming up in behind him in the lead Audi. Oh, and Waz having a little contact with the wall. Looks like he's okay, although that can't be good for the tires. Markovic is still in eighth place. Possibly some debut points for Dule Markovic. He did not have any points in the Bathurst round, so would be a big moment for the first Serbian national in Zero Racing Series to pick up some big points. DeBonis appears to have capitalized on the mistake by Waz and has picked up ninth place. Bit of an eventful race for the number 48 car, but he is pulling it together. Waz is off the track again, got a little out of control in the hairpin, but he holds on to 10th place, it looks like. Klapzul in P11. And, or I may be off on that because it appears that Monds is after that. So it's Monds, followed by Stokes, followed by Gillespie in third. Fourth place for Lauer, fifth place for Mark. Sixth place for Martel, who has lost a spot after a mistake in the final corner. Carl Raggio is P7, P8 for Markovic, P9 for DeBonis, P10 for Waz, P11 for Magasevich, who's made a mistake and has fallen back into the grasp of Mark Klapzul in the P12 BMW. Everyone's still on the lead lap, but you can see how close that Jason Monds is getting to the back of the field. He is completing turn 4 and heading onto the finish straight where the 11th and 12th place cars are. He's got a pretty comfortable gap back to Wes Stokes, and you got to feel that this race is very much in his hands. All he needs to do is maintain the tires, not make any major mistakes, and he should be taking win number 3 for both his career and the season. I don't think we've ever seen quite a dominant debut like Jason Monds has had through Bathurst and now into the Norisring to their career. Gillespie is under pressure from Martin Lauer. in the battle of all Mercedeses. They'll have to be keen to not take each other out and maybe give a shot to the number 2 BMW, Mike Mark. Audi is having a ridiculously bad day as their top man is Carl Raggio in just 7th place for the Constructors' Leaders. He's putting some pressure on Rick Martel, looking to get up into 6th. But, man, a strike back day for Mercedes and for BMW here as it's so far not been good for the Audis. Markovic is still 8th, followed by DeBonis, followed by Waz. Magasevich is in 11th, followed by Klapzul. They're getting pretty close together. Might have a good scrap out for the 11th place spot. These two have had a lot of previous history with each other. A lot of battles, some good, some bad. There's been some contact in the past. Magasevich, of course, picking up a 5-second penalty in Bathurst for rear-ending Klapzul. So maybe a little revenge on the mind of the BMW driver. We'll have to see. Magasevich, of course, is probably sitting on that penalty for that lap 1 incident that I can't imagine will go unpunished. Jason Monds still leading the way, and I think Wesley Stokes may have taken a little bit out of him on this lap, but he is still quite a bit behind the Mercedes leader. Got a good battle here going for 3rd, though, as Quintis Gillespie continues to battle with the number 3 Mercedes of Martin Lauer. Martin Lauer missed the Bathurst action, so did Quintis Gillespie. These two guys are both sitting on 0 points, but I imagine that they're going to be a big part of what happens with this long term. These two are really talented drivers. Martin Lauer making his debut this season. Quintis Gillespie was, of course, here for Season 1 and for Season 2. Very nearly the champion in Season 1 during the Weekday Series, just missing out to Rick Martel for that honors. Multi-time race winner for the United States. You got to feel that he feels good about his chances, especially in what appears to be the class of the field, the Mercedes today. 1, 3, 4 for the Mercedes scores. Lauer goes for the inside move. I don't think there's anything on there. It looks like Gillespie's going to hold it, but you got to imagine that Lauer is within range for the DRS. There you can see him using it, and coming down the straight, it's going to be a big deal if he can get alongside Gillespie and you make use of that DRS to make the pass for P3. He's going to go to the outside. Good guarding on the inside from Gillespie. I think that there may have been something there if Lauer could have got on the inside of him. Still getting a good battle here for 3rd place. We're going to take our eyes off this for just a moment to review things. Mike Mark's still in 5th. Raggio has at some point picked up 6th. Is him and also Alessio DeBonis and Tom Waz up to there as well. And 9th, something has happened with Dule Markovic. We're going to have to check that out. Dule was in 6th place in the number 18 BMW with Shell, and he is now down to 10th place. I don't know what has happened to him. I think he may even be lower than 10th place. Possibly. He seems to be ahead of Klapzul, who was in 12th. This would suggest that he's maybe back all the way in 11th. No, Rick Martel's also had a moment, so I wonder if they had a coming together. They were in 6th and I believe 7th place. There could have been an incident here between the BMW of the Serb driver, Dule Markovic. No, it doesn't appear to be anything related to Martel on this one. It looks like Markovic may have just absolutely spun it out. So we're gonna go here through the first hairpin there, battling with Alessio DeBonis. At this point, Carl Raggio had already gotten around him, and he was down to 8th place. Yeah, it just looks like he just lost it. And we're also gonna have to check out what happened with Rick Martel. He appears to be down at the very back of the pack, and indeed he is. What has happened to the Season 1 champion, Rick Martel, in the Mercedes car? He was running up in 6th place and is now back in 12th. I don't know what has happened to him. We're going to go back and check this out. He's actually down a lap to Jason Monds at this point in the race, so just an interesting... We were talking about the blue flags earlier on today, and... yeah, he's dropped down all the way behind Klapzul, and I believe that's Michael Magasevich as well. It looks like he just gets it turned around in the chicane, maybe. Let's have a look here. We're looking for possibly some contact with Martel. It doesn't look like it. Let's have a look here. Rick Martel heading into the chicane, and he just loses it under braking, and there goes Carl Raggio. There goes Dule Markovic, although Markovic would have a problem later on. Through goes DeBonis. Through goes Tom Waz. I believe Michael Magasevich is going to come around here and also get through, as well as Mark Klapzul. Just an absence. There's Klapzul. Absolute disaster for Martel. Uh, harsh stuff. Anyways, it's still Jason Monds leading it from Wesley Stokes. Gillespie is fighting hard with Martin Lauer. Fifth place belongs to Mark, and then there's an absolute train of the four Audis as Raggio, DeBonis, Waz, and Magasevich inherit the lower down points positions, with the final points paying position currently being held by the BMW of Dule Markovic. I feel that's going to change, though, because, of course, we are looking at Michael Magasevich, the current ninth place car, probably facing a substantial penalty for a incident on the first lap. I can't imagine that ninth place will stand. Anyways, Gillespie having a fantastic battle here with Martin Lauer. I believe we've already watched this particular portion of it where Lauer under DRS is going for the pass, but a good job of positioning himself to the inside. Good blocking from Gillespie, legal and effective as he retains third place. Let's see if there's any action going on anywhere else. Mark's kind of on his own. And then we have the Audi train. Raggio, DeBonis, Waz, Magasevich, Markovic still on pace for his first points in Zero Racing Series. Mark Klapzul down in 11th place. Monds has put Martel down a lap and is coming up to the back of the 11th place car, Mark Klapzul. We'll just see what happens here. Let's see if Martel can start making up some ground, because, of course, Klapzul qualified dead last. And outside of running quite high on lap 1, has had a pretty back-of-the-pack day. Had an accident with Carl Raggio that forced him to the back of the pack. And we'll see what happens in regards to that. Perhaps a penalty coming there. So a couple of potential penalties. I think Magasevich definitely facing one. Could see Raggio maybe under investigation for the contact with Klapzul as well. Not a good day for Audi. Two of their cars possibly under investigation for contact. Klapzul just kind of spinning out there, and looks like Martel will pick up the spot, as well as Monds getting the lap done without any incident. Nothing to report on the blue flag's point of view. Anyway, still in second place, it's Wes Stokes, and in third, Martin Lauer, I think, has finally made the move. Has finally put the move on Quintis Gillespie. We're gonna have to go check it back and have a look at that. I'm gonna say it maybe is into the first corner hairpin, is my guess, because we know that Lauer has had DRS the last couple of laps. Gillespie has been unable to shake that particular problem. It looks like it may have actually been even earlier into the lap, or into the prior lap maybe even. Let's have a look, see here what happens. Yeah, it looks like it's into corner 4. Coming out of the chicane into corner 4. Looks like Gillespie just gets very wide there in a real tight line, real nice line there from Martin Lauer, and that's going to put him on to third place and looking for that podium for the Mercedes team. Although Gillespie, of course, also in a Mercedes, so no real gang for the Mercedes team there. One car goes up, one car goes down, sort of deal. Still in 5th place, Mike Mark. He's having a pretty lonely race right now for the BMW team. You'd have to think he thought he was going to be in for maybe some better results here if you told him that there was going to be some real problems for some of the upper qualifiers. I mean, we have Alessio DeBonis and Carl Raggio, who qualified P2 and P3, really down in the grid. So to have qualified P5 and only be in P5 must be a little bit frustrating for Mike Mark right now. I'll tell you, the man who made the moves, though, was his roommate and teammate, Wes Stokes, from P6 to P2, having a fantastic day. Carl Raggio's in 6th place, followed by Alessio DeBonis, Tom Waz, and Michael Magasevich, the Audi crew, running very close together. Dule Markovic in the last points-paying position. First points possibly in his zero career for the BMW team would be fantastic. Jason Monds is coming up to him, though, to possibly put him down a lap, is Rick Martel and Wes Stokes. This shouldn't be a battle. Wesley Stokes is lapping. There should be some blue flags here for Martel, so hopefully he makes himself a little bit scarce. Although it should be mentioned, I mean, Martel qualified much higher than you would think by his 12th place or his 11th place running order. Markovic has had a moment and has crashed the BMW in turn 4. It doesn't look like anyone was there with them. Just a simple spin out. Anyways, it should be mentioned again, these BMWs are running a lot of wing. You can see actually, especially from the rear shot, just the differences in wing between them and, for example, Rick Martel's Mercedes there. It doesn't seem to be hurting them. They are in P2 and P5. They're doing a good job. although Markovic and Klapzul are currently outside of the points and having a rough day, so to speak. Anyways, looking down, it's Martin Lauer is still being pressured hard by Quintis Gillespie. Gillespie is not willing to give up on this in the number 34 Mercedes. Having a fantastic fight, these two. Very good inter-team battle. He's looking at an outside line into turn 4. I don't think there's really much on there. I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, he's going to go wide on the exit of the turn. And Martin Lauer, oh! And he loses it! He loses it and goes into the barrier. That's going to pretty much, I think, guarantee Martin Lauer the podium at this point as he heads off in third place. It looks like Gillespie's going to retrain the track and not lose any positions. Mike Mark, though, in the BMW is on his tail. It would be a big deal if BMW and Mike Mark could get that 4th place away. They had such a struggle at Bathurst. No real competitiveness. Had problems finding the pace that the Mercedes and the Audis had. And it would be amazing if they could pick up a 2nd or 4th place here. It would be huge, especially with Audi's struggles today. It's been hard for Audi. They look good in qualifying. They were very strong in qualifying with P2 and P3 on the grid, but it is not translated into race points right now. Raggio, the top placed Audi in P6. Gillespie going a little bit wide again in that turn 4. I think he doesn't have a great line through there. Mike Mark is on the DRS, so there may be a move in the straight to be had. He looked a little far back to be having the DRS, to be honest, but it seems like he does have it. But you can see, I think the difference in the wing right there is that he doesn't even really make a particularly large amount of headway into the Mercedes-Benz, which is running not a lot lower wing. I think actually Gillespie has some of the higher wing of the Mercedes cars. I think you see a more extreme one with Martel, for example, and even Jason Monds. But he's managing to hold on here. Martin Lauer, you can see ahead, going through the lapping of, I believe that might be Tom Was in the Red Bull Audi. Either that or it could be also Mark Klapzul, but I believe Klapzul is behind this particular battle. You can see the engagement of the DRS there as Mark's trying to hang on, but I think he may have almost lost. I think he may have lost the DRS zone. I believe it is actually Klapzul ahead of them, and he'll get it down the straight as the last activation from the prior lap, but I don't know if he'll have it from this point onwards. Let's have a look. Man, Gillespie having to hold up heavy in the braking zone there. Don't know what was up with that. It doesn't look like there's DRS for Mike Mark. He's gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way if he could do it, but he may be able to. We seem to have lost Carl Raggio somewhere. He has fallen behind Alessio De Bonis. I don't know what has happened there. Definitely interesting there. Anyways, and I think the positioning may also just be messed up, as apparently P1 is Tom Was, and we know that's not the case. We were in the cooldown lap. So, you know what? A fantastic race. We'll have to see what happened with Magasevich in turn 1 with the penalty, but I believe the final race order is Jason Monds winning the race from BMW's Wesley Stokes and Martin Lauer in the additional Mercedes. Additionally, Mercedes in P4 with Quintis Gillespie, P5 to BMW with Mike Mark, and then the Audi train with Alessio De Bonis. It appeared to be taking the spot over Carl Raggio, and then Tom Was, Michael Magasevich, and the final points going to the Mercedes of Rick Martel. But I think there's a chance that Dule Markovic, despite finishing 11th, may have scored his first point in Zero Racing history, as we probably are looking at a penalty for the number 99 of Magasevich, who finished in 9th place. That is all for now. I'll be back with race 2 real shortly. Hopefully it's more good action, and we'll maybe with a little less dirtiness on lap 1.